I'm going to show you how to schedule a meeting. Now, if you just want to do an impromptu meeting with someone, you can go up here to host a meeting on the top right, and you can click it and you can invite someone. But if you actually want to schedule something with your students or with your grade team, it's good to go ahead and do it as more of a schedule. So the way I like to do that is I go to my account, and then here in my account, I go to where it says, sorry about that, go to where it says meetings. And here in meetings, you can schedule anything you want to do. So I would want to schedule a new meeting. So I will click schedule a new meeting. And I can name my meeting whatever I want. So maybe I want to call it my Tuesday check-in. And you can put a description here if you want to. Let's say that I want to do my Tuesday check-in on April 7th, and I want to do it at 1 in the afternoon. Here you should have a notice saying that the basic plan puts a 40-minute limit on things, and that's really true. They will cut you off after 40 minutes. So I usually try to keep mine to less than that. So let's say we're going to make it 30 minutes. So you choose your time here. Then you go down, make sure you're on the right time zone, because I was initially on Eastern, so just click this, make sure you're on your actual time zone. For the meeting ID, I usually just have it generated automatically, especially if you schedule more than one meeting. That way it's all set, so I usually leave that clicked. I don't usually require a password. You can require a password to make it one level more secure, but it's just another thing for your participants to have to know. So I usually uncheck that require a password so that they don't have to do that. Now, when you come down here, you can choose. When the meeting starts, do you want to come in with your video on, or do you want to turn it on yourself? That's really just a matter of choice. So you can keep it at off and you can turn it on when you're ready. For participants, you can do the same thing. You can have them come on with it off and have them turn it on. I like to choose on for them only because sometimes if it's someone's first time or they're new to it, I can help them better if I can see them. So I usually click on for them and either off or on for myself. I often choose both for computer audio or telephone. That way if someone doesn't have access to a laptop or it's not working, they can actually just call in. So I usually keep this at both. Scrolling down here, we have meeting options. Now, enable to join before host. This is pretty interesting. If you are meeting with adults, I definitely recommend clicking it, because that means if you're running late, they can just come on into the meeting and wait for you. If you are meeting with students, I definitely recommend not checking that, because having them come into the meeting without you is essentially the equivalent of having them in your classroom when you're not there. So that you can kind of determine what you want. My rule of thumb is if it's adults, I go ahead and click it. If it's children, I do not. Another one here is mute participants upon entry. Again, grown-ups, I don't really do that. I trust them to mute themselves. Also, they may want to talk with each other. However, with students, I often do choose mute upon entry because, a lot of times they're getting settled. It's kind of loud if they come in. So again, your choice, but that's why it's there. Waiting room. This is an interesting one that we'll get into later. Enabling a waiting room means that people can sign on and they're sort of held in an area. And then once you sign on, you can click to start the meeting and everybody gets in from the waiting room. There are pros and cons to this. I usually do not check it at this point, so it's up to you. We can talk more about it. One thing to know is if you enable waiting room, they will get a message, almost like an error, which may be confusing. So up to you. I usually don't check it. And then recording the meeting automatically, I do not check this. If you want to record the meeting, I'm going to show you how to do that down the road, but I don't do it automatically. So once you've gone through all your settings, and the main thing I do is double check this date here and time and make sure that you have picked the right time and date. Once it looks good to you, you can just click save. And then now you have this meeting created. So here is the meeting ID, and this is what you want to share with the people that you are inviting to the meeting. So if you send out a text or an email, or you post it on Google Classroom, or you put it on a schedule, this is the ID that people will need. They will just go to zoom.us, join a meeting up here, and they will put in your ID that was generated. So that's pretty much it. That's how you create a one-time meeting.